I'm Robbie Elliott, sitting alongside the Executive Director of the MHSAA, Mark Ewell. First off, Mark, I just want to say thank you from all of us at State Champs and everyone in high school sports for all that you do, and I'm so glad to be sitting alongside you.
Hey, it's great to be here, and thanks for making the trip to East Lansing.
Let's just start off, right? The MHSAA, this is the 100th year celebration, we'll call it, of the MHSAA. Can you just talk a little bit about maybe not only what you learned, but also just that great celebration that we just had throughout this entire high school sports season?
So yeah, 100 years is a long time. On December the 13th, back in 1924, had a group of coaches and administrators that met, and they planned the first ever basketball tournament, which was really the start of the MHSAA. And you know, dozens of sports more, and 100 years later, and we're still doing the same thing. Still lots of opportunities for young kids in our state.
You said dozens of sports more. Let's talk about a couple new sports that are coming along. Field hockey.
So girls field hockey will kick off in the fall. We'll have about 40 schools that'll participate in the first year of MHSAA sponsorship, and we're really excited about that. Hopefully we'll have our finals venue finalized soon, and then next spring, kind of a companion, we've got one new girls sport, one new boys sport, but boys volleyball comes online next spring, and they're going to play their championships in the same place where our girls play, Kellogg Arena in Battle Creek. So it's been over 20 years since our last sports that we've added. We added bowling and then boys and girls lacrosse back in the early 2000s, and now it's nearly 25 years later, and excited to have two new sports.
And we talk about some changes in the football finals, right? They are now happening on that Friday and Sunday in Thanksgiving weekend.
So sometimes in relationships you have to compromise, and one of our very best relationships is with Michigan State and with the Big Ten having the Spartans play on Saturday at Ford Field, just given the opponent and some stadium challenges that they have being outdoors at Spartan Stadium in November. So we are going to split our finals. We're going to go Friday, Sunday. Not ideal, however, our attendance 2 years ago when we had to go Saturday, Sunday, our Sunday crowds were really, really good, which is an advantage. And then the other thing you like is by not playing on Saturday, we're not competing for eyeballs with Michigan and Ohio State. So it's less than ideal. But 4 games on Friday, 4 on Sunday, and you know, for folks that where this does give them some heartburn, the alternative is, hey, we could still play on Friday and Saturday, but get your winter coat and your hat because we'd be outdoors at Central Michigan or Eastern Michigan or Western Michigan. So I think sometimes you get to see the big picture, and while the schedule is not ideal for the upcoming year, we're going to make it work, and the 8 games will go off without a hitch.
Making Michigan and Michigan State fans happy. They better show up on Sunday, right? Hey, not competing with eyeballs is what you're doing there, but their eyeballs are going to be on a new network, right, for those state finals. Talk a little bit about that.
So I'm 51, so the old guy in me wants to be on cable TV. That's something that, you know, and for folks my age, it started off with a station which was before you were even born. Started off with PASS, and then PASS later became Fox Sports Detroit, which then became Bally Sports Detroit, which then became FanDuel. But really our run is really, it's come to an end. The channel with Bally Sports and now FanDuel, it was harder and harder to find on cable systems, and it just didn't work out for both parties. So we're going to take all of our telecasts to the NFHS network, which is the place where folks can find every earlier round game in our tournament, so there's no extra cost, there's no extra place where they need to go to stream. And again, the 50-plus-year-old guy in me would still love to be on TV, but we're excited about streaming not only the 8 championship games on the NFHS network, and of course, don't forget our 8-player finals. We've been streamed on the network now for the last couple of years. So both divisions of 8-player, which happened at Northern Michigan University up in Marquette, so fans who have watched those 2 games on the NFHS network, it's the same place now that you'll be able to find the 8 11-player games as well. But also the Sunday selection show, which all communities kind of gather around and find out who they're playing and where they're going. So those traditions will remain unchanged, and we're excited about the network for next year.
And shifting a little bit, let's talk about just how great you being a fellow umpire, right? Seeing those participation not only in the players up, but also we're having more officials. How cool is that for the MHS?
We're really excited. During COVID, we used to be over 12,000 officials, During COVID, we got down to almost 8,000, so we almost lost a third of our officials. And the good news is since COVID, we've had an increase of about 500 officials a year, so we're closing back in on that 10,000 official mark, which is good. You know, game fees have gone up. Part of what we've done is because officials are important, we've invested in them. Better game fees, constantly working on better sportsmanship, better treatment, but we're really, really excited how our officiating numbers have rebounded.
And those player numbers are up as well. How great is it that we are seeing high school athletes continue to play on and represent their school?
So this is really pretty astounding because the population of high school age kids in Michigan continues to shrink. You look at the size of our schools, they're all smaller than what they were 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. So we have fewer kids. However, we found a way that participation numbers, now again, they're not huge growing numbers, but they are still growing. So it's encouraging kids to be multiple sport athletes. It's encouraging kids to try something new. You know, if your main sport is basketball, try something in the fall or the spring just to get involved. And so participation is up and we're really excited about that.
The MHSAA advancing so many great things for the great state of Michigan. Mark Ewell, thank you so much for joining us. And congratulations again on all the great things you are doing.
Thanks, Robbie.